One night, a man in a quiet neighborhood checked his baby monitor, expecting to see his newborn child sleeping peacefully. Instead, the screen showed something else. A small boy, barely clothed, extremely thin. His arms appeared to be tied behind his back as he crawled across the floor, desperately searching for food. The man froze. This wasn't his house. This wasn't his child. Somehow, his baby monitor had picked up a signal from somewhere nearby, and what it revealed would soon uncover one of the most disturbing child abuse cases in modern Czech history. On May 10, 2007, in the quiet Czech town of Kurim, an ordinary evening turned into something unimaginable. The man who saw the strange signal had only recently installed a baby monitor with a camera to keep an eye on his newborn child while the baby slept. It was meant to be a simple precaution, a way to feel safe and relaxed at home. But that night, the monitor suddenly intercepted a different signal. Instead of his baby's crib, the screen showed a boy crawling on the floor in what looked like a basement. The child appeared weak and desperate, searching for food. The man immediately realized something was terribly wrong. Without wasting a second, he called the police. That mysterious signal would soon uncover a horrifying secret hidden behind the walls of an ordinary home. Two sisters lived in Kurim. Klara Maurova, who was 31 years old, and her older sister, Katerina Maurova, who was 33. Not much is known about their early lives. Klara had studied pedagogy and specialized in teaching methods, while Katerina worked at a youth center. People who knew them often spoke about their strong religious beliefs. The sisters frequently talked about having a divine mission and believed they had a special calling from God. Klara was also a single mother raising two sons, Jakub, 9 years old, and Andrei, 8. Friends described her as a loving and caring parent. She played with her boys, took them on vacations, and sent them to summer camps. To outsiders, the family seemed completely normal. But everything began to change when a mysterious new person entered their lives. Her name was Annika. According to Katerina, Annika was a 13-year-old orphan from Norway who had escaped from a dangerous group of human traffickers. She was supposedly hiding for safety. When Klara heard the story, she felt deep sympathy for the girl and welcomed her into the family. Soon, Annika became a constant presence in Klara's home. She behaved like a fragile child who was often sick and required medical attention. Strangely, however, she insisted that only Katerina could take her to the hospital. Despite the unusual situation, Klara grew emotionally attached to the girl and even began thinking about adopting her. Around the same time, the sisters became involved with a religious group known as the Grail movement, led by a man named Josef Skurla. Members of the group believed that performing good deeds could guarantee them a place in heaven and erase the consequences of their sins. But their beliefs soon took a much darker turn. Not long after Annika appeared, Klara began receiving strange text messages from someone claiming to be a doctor. The anonymous doctor said he knew how to treat the girl's mysterious illness. At first, his advice seemed unusual but harmless. However, the instructions gradually became more disturbing. He told Klara that her sons were somehow harming Annika and that the boys needed to be cleansed of evil influences. The supposed doctor recommended strict discipline and physical punishment. Shockingly, Klara began following these instructions. She started beating her sons with wooden spoons, belts, and her hands. Sometimes she locked them inside small cages overnight. The abuse escalated quickly. In August 2006, the mysterious doctor sent even more extreme instructions. He told Clara to stop behaving like a mother and instead treat the boys as subjects who needed correction. Soon after, Clara brought Jakub and Andre to a remote cottage in the woods about 13 minutes from their home. Inside the cottage were several people: her sister Katerina, 2 men, and another woman who had previously met the boys at a summer camp. What happened there was horrifying. The boys were locked inside tiny dog cages where they could barely move. They were forced to eat from bowls placed on the floor and were not allowed to speak. The group subjected them to severe physical abuse. At times, their heads were held underwater until they nearly drowned. Their mouths were taped shut to stop them from screaming. Even worse, parts of their skin were cut and burned with cigarettes. The cruelty was unimaginable. Later, Clara brought the boys back home to Kurim, but the nightmare continued. She locked them in the basement and installed a baby monitor so she could watch them from the kitchen. Meanwhile, Anika lived upstairs in a bright bedroom filled with toys, seemingly untouched by the horror happening below. For months, Jakub and Andre remained prisoners in their own home, until the night the neighbor's baby monitor accidentally intercepted the signal. When police arrived at Clara's house, both sisters refused to open the door. Firefighters were eventually forced to break inside. What officers discovered in the basement shocked everyone. 2 severely malnourished boys were found imprisoned in a cement cellar. Both Clara and Katerina were immediately arrested. But the investigation soon uncovered an even stranger truth. The girl known as Anika was not a 13-year-old orphan at all. She was actually a 33-year-old woman named Barbora Skurlova. Barbora suffered from a rare condition that made her appear much younger than she really was. She used this to disguise herself as a child and manipulate the family. After the arrests, Barbora managed to escape from a children's home and fled across several countries. Eventually, she was found in Norway, where she had disguised herself as a 13-year-old boy and even attended school under a false identity. Authorities eventually discovered the truth and returned her to the Czech Republic. During the trial, Clara admitted to abusing her sons, but claimed she had been manipulated by the mysterious doctor. Investigators soon discovered that the doctor never existed. The phone number sending the messages belonged to Katerina. The manipulation had come from within the family all along. Even more disturbingly, the leader of the Grail movement, Josef Skurla, turned out to be Barbora's biological father. In 2008, the court delivered the verdict. Klara Maurova was sentenced to 9 years in prison. Katerina Maurova received 10 years. Other participants in the torture were sentenced between 5 and 7 years. Barbora Skurlova received a 5-year sentence but was released early due to psychological concerns. As for Jakub and Andre, their future has remained largely private. It is believed that they were eventually adopted by an American family. After surviving unimaginable cruelty, their lives were forever changed, and the shocking discovery made through a simple baby monitor remains one of the most disturbing true crime cases ever uncovered by pure accident.